Good morning from Los Angeles. Welcome to Trading with Sergio Wednesday edition. As the title of today's live stream indicates, have the markets topped? It's tough to say. Obviously, we're getting a little bit of a bounce, but there was heavy selling from the get-go, specifically on some very high beta stocks and the Mag 7 stocks. So we'll just go through those. I have no topics today. We'll just take care of the market. Now, if any of you want to come on, please grab the link. Here it is. I'm about to share it. And there it is. If you guys want to come on, grab the link and come on. We can talk about anything you guys want to talk about. Where did this sell-off come from? Well, this is what happens, folks. I don't know. For a year on this channel, I said stocks walk up the stairs and take the express elevator down. If in some names that's not the express elevator, I don't know what is. For example, Palantir, for example, Reddit, and for example, a lot of these high flyers, right? HIMS and things like that. And this is what happens. Out of the blue, it shows up. And that's why you need to pay attention to, your position size. Wait for your spots. Like I waited for my couple of spots. I actually day traded a couple of the 2x ETFs, made decent money, couple grand, nothing major, but it all helps because everything else I'm holding is kind of eating it. But, patience will pay if you're positioned correctly. Size is the key. You can't keep DCAing into losing positions. You just manage, hope for a bounce, clean them up, and then, make sure you have dry powder. Going into today, I had close to 80% cash anyway, so I deployed some of it. Nothing major, a couple hundred shares on the 2x ETF of Palantir and a couple hundred shares of the 2x ETF of Reddit. Reddit was making an all-time high, sold off 50 points out of the blue. Well, it pulled back to support. I bought it. Palantir, I was going to buy it at the 50 EMA, which was support. Look, I'm still thinking the stock is extremely overvalued. There are some short sharks circling the waters on that one, especially Citron Research. And, if they did short it, they nailed the top. But the top was nailed by one person and one person only. Who was that? That was Jim Cramer on CNBC, literally within minutes of him saying, and I think Palantir was like 180 something, with him saying, yeah, it's going to 200, that was it. Just sold off 50 points like that. 50 points is a lot. We're talking billions of billions in the market cap. So welcome to Trading with Sergio Wednesday edition. We're going to find out. This is the first time, I'm doing not first time, we're doing a live stream when the markets are down, but you have to be ready for these. And if you're a trader, especially, you can't just be, I know from my own Telegram chat group, right? So when the markets were grinding higher all the way up to a couple days ago, everybody's chirping. Oh, I did this, I did that, I did this. And then market sells off. Quiet. Crickets. I'm the only one chirping on there. Because to me, I've seen this before, and I know how to behave when it happens, and you take your losses. A lot of people don't know how to take losses. They think, yeah, it's going to stop. It's going to stop. Where is it going to stop? Nobody knows. Yes, you have, technical analysis. You have some tools you can use, but those are all, they tell you what happened in the past. It's not going to tell you what happened in the future. There are structural things happening underneath the market. It looks like there were massive liquidation was happening on some of these Mag 7 stocks. And why is that? That's because, hedge funds leverage up to 6, 8, 10, 12x. And when they get caught, they have to sell. Look, nobody knows who's holding what. Nobody knows who's holding what kind of bag. And this is what happens. But look, seen it before. Just no panicking necessary here. Again, I can't emphasize enough. If you don't risk manage and if you don't keep your sizing correctly, you're going to get trashed. Not only you're going to get trashed, you're going to blow an account that you probably built up over the last couple of months, right? When we were grinding higher. I see it on X, some of these screenshots. Oh, today was the worst day. I lost $900,000. I'm like, yeah, it took you 2 months to get that 900,000 if you did. And then now you're just, but then this is what separates the investment ideology versus trading ideology. If you're investing long term, you have to get used to these. These rug pulls happen all the time. And for the past however many years now, retail has been there with both hands open, buying every day. I mean, I'm not going to, well, I have to say it. I mean, one of these dips is not going to hold. They will buy the dip and they'll rip it lower. They'll buy the dip and they'll rip it lower. Look, market is a mechanism to make everybody wrong. Okay, if that was so easy, everybody would be billionaires. So the point I'm trying to make is please, please, please be careful when these types of things happen. For example, if you're selling cash secure puts, if you sell cash secure puts on Palantir at it was stock of 190, you go, okay, for weekly, I sell some weekly puts and collect some cash grab at 170. You collected probably 50 cents with 3 days to go, 2 days to go, or 4 days to go, or $1. The stocks casually dropped from 190 to 140. That put that you sold for $1, okay, is worth 30 now. Now what are you going to do? Now you're going to say, well, I don't mind getting assigned. It'll bounce one day. I'm like, yeah, well, that's not trading. I don't know. I'm sorry, but that's not trading, folks. If you think Palantir is going to, now, how long will it take Palantir to go back to all-time high? Don't know. We're used to V bottoms, right? Things bottom and they just take off spring-loaded. I don't know. Is that what's going to happen? We'll see. I mean, I'm just saying I don't know because I really don't know. And, for me, the important thing is to not be casual about these things. If you're going to trade, swing trade, day trade, you have to be at the screen. Because these things happen out of the blue. It just happens. And you have to be ready with dry powder to take advantage of it, which I did. But again, I don't think market has bottomed. We're cutting through some moving averages. Next stop probably is 50 MA on the indexes, SPX and QQQ. We'll take a look at charts shortly. Anyway, so let's start with good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to Trading with Sergio Wednesday edition. Please share, subscribe, turn on notifications. Number one. Number two, I do Trading with Sergio Monday, Trading with Sergio Wednesday, Power Hour coming up on Friday. And today at 4:30, members live. Let's see all these quiet members who were chirping all the way up, and there's quiet crickets. Nobody's talking on the chat group. I understand. Yeah, well, now you're going to be proud owner of MSTU. But anyway, folks, so if you're interested in becoming a member, click join, send me an email, sergio@sergioavedian.com. I'll send you the Telegram chat group link. I'm proud of the group, but then I can tell that they are heavily biased to the long side, as always, as they should be. But when you're trading, not investing, when you're trading, you do mistakes. When you're trading, you think things are going to stop or you did your transaction. That's not going to happen, number one. Number two, a lot of people say, well, I wanted to buy that stock there anyway, so I'm okay. Well, yeah, but stock went down another 20% below your level. What are you going to do now? Now you're battling. Now you tie up funds. Now you have opportunity cost. Those are the things that I'm trying to instill in the group. And, no harm in taking losses. I take them. Sometimes I get stubborn. I don't take them myself, and then I pay for it. I've done it this year. Luckily, I'm still up reasonable amount for the year. It's a tough year, man. It really is. And now you guys are going to say, what is the sell-off about? I don't know. There's Jackson Hole, meetings are taking place this week. Fed Chief Powell is going to talk on Friday. Did somebody get a hold of it? And is he going to be hawkish? He's going to say, F Trump, I'm not going to cut rates. I don't know. He's there until next June. I don't know. I mean, to me, the important thing is just have dry powder at all times. So, because nobody knows what's going to happen the next day today. this year especially. Last 4 years was a breeze. Volatility was killed because market just kept grinding higher. Every 3-5% pullback was bought. This year, things broke a little bit. April, they broke once. They really broke. And then now, I'll look at VIX. I haven't looked at VIX for a while. What it's doing. I'm sure it's going higher. But so these last 2 day sell-off, if you look at a lot of the high beta stuff, especially if you look at a lot of the crypto stuff, they're acting weird. But I'm, trying to put it on the chat and tell my group, I go, listen, folks, this is not normal. Something is happening here. Is this what's happening? I talk about like MSTR, MSTU, the 2X ETF, and some other ones, BMNR, things like that, Ethereum, Bitcoin. They're doing something I haven't seen for a while. And meaning there's something called MNAV in all these 2X ETFs or these crypto treasury asset companies like MSTR. MNAV has been getting, smashed, right? So when Bitcoin is still holding about 118, 115, 117, Ethereum is holding it like 142, 4,300. Nothing, like 2% from the highs, 3%, max 5%. These things are getting smashed. Well, why is that happening? Are they shorting the equity and buying Bitcoin? And it looks like that's what they're doing. That MNAV keeps shrinking. It was as high as 2.5 at some point on MSTR. Now we're down to like 135. Parity is 1. If it's going to go to 1, MSTR is going to go to 300. And MSTU is going to go to wherever it's going to go. But I'm just making sure that nobody blows the account, at least under my watch. And, it happens though, man. Look, if you're dealing with a smallish kind of account, you don't have the staying power. Although you will just, tie yourself up until you get clean again. But anyway, happy everyone. Good morning, Manny P. Good morning, Alba 6891. Oh, Mr. Premium is here. Mr. Premium, grab the link and come on. I would love to talk to you. I really would. I know today you're going to put those, let's see, short cover calls are printing. Am I right or wrong? Is that what you're going to say? Because you can't say cash secured puts are printing. Just God forbid. But I like his attitude. He's always like, put the winners there. I have no losers. I hit 90%. Actually, I put out a good video about that. I go, does win rate matter at all? It doesn't. A lot of people go, I'm right on this. I'm right on this. I'm like, okay, good. Your win rate is 88%. How much is your account up for the year? 12. I go, how's that? It should be up like 50. So win rate doesn't matter because what happens is that the win rate goes up, they take small gains, and then one big loss, boom, done. So to me, it's like actually on the members group, I'm going to talk about something that I haven't spoken today until today. I think it's going to be extremely, extremely valuable session. So all the members, please show up today. What else is going on? I don't know. Market opened lower. They absolutely hammered it the first half hour and bounced. Oh, what did we sell? We sold something or we bought something. Let's see. Actually, let's take a look. Well, maybe I sold my last Reddit 2X ETF. Possible. I don't know. Or maybe I sold some calls on SoundHound. Is that what we did? What did we do? Oh, maybe, okay. All right, okay. No, we didn't do that. What did we do? I have no idea. What did we do? Oh, we bought some calls on CoreWeave 2X ETF. Okay, cool. Is that what we did? I guess so. You guys can see that, right? Okay, so let's go through the positions real quick. I have 80 calls September This is a directional bet. I have 80 calls September 20s on AEVA. Actually, that turned green, which is like surprising. Dog shit. I have a covered strangle on BLSH, which is a new issue called bullish. I'm long the stock at 63.80. I'm short to 50 puts, and I'm short to 75 calls on what's a covered strangle. You own the underlying. You can, and the option premiums that I took in was ridiculous. So I took in about $6.50 for that combo. So I'm willing to buy another 200 shares of BLSH at 50 minus the premium, or I'm willing to sell the 200 shares that I bought at 63.80 at 81.5. It's a pretty good trade if it turns out. These are for September. I'm long 120 CoreWeave September 15 calls. This is the 2x ETF of CoreWeave. What do I have? I think I have another 10 to buy. Yeah, at 50 cents. Yeah, I don't mind doing that. I am long. So I was in a long strangle. The options expire worthless. Call space is 16.5 range. I'm long 1,000 HIMS, HIMZ. That's the 2x ETF of HIMS. That bounced off of 200-day EMA, so we'll see how that goes. I will put a cover strangle on that. I will buy another 500 shares, sell calls, sell puts shortly. This is the trade. I'm kind of quite proud, actually. I usually don't day trade. So PLTU is the 2x ETF of PLTR. I think let's see what I did. Yeah, I bought a couple hundred shares of 66.95 cost, and I chucked it on average of 72.85. So I made about 6 points. Not bad. And same thing is happening now on, well, next position is PPSI. I'm long 2,500 shares of PPSI. Actually didn't even go down. I'm long at 369, stocks 374. This is the last one. Next one is I bought a couple hundred shares of Reddit 2x ETF, which is RDTL, in the morning. Where did we buy and sell that one? Let's take a look. So I bought a couple hundred shares at 49.55. So far sold half position at 55.22. So it's about 10%, about 5-6 points. Not bad. Again, like I said, I don't day trade, but when the panic sets in and I see the sell algos going crazy, I just got to take the other side, and which I did. And I have a little bit of shares left. I have it for sale at 55.65, which is like a point from here, so no problem. Okay, this is, I'm building a position here on SoundHound. I like the company quite a bit. I was in it before. I'm revisiting. So far, I'm long 2,200 shares of 13.43 average, but I also sold the 7 of this Friday expiration, 13 puts at 33 cents. So I'm willing to buy more shares at 12.70. And I sold 3 of the 13.5 puts at 55 cents. So I'm willing to buy more at 12.95. Although stock is 12.57, 58, but then that thing was 17. I look at the charts and then pull back all the way to 12. Snap back to 14.5. And I'm also long the shares, and I'm trying to sell actually. Friday expiration, 13.5 calls. I sold 10 so far at 14 cents. I don't have anything else out there, but if they do bounce or stock rallies, I will put those calls out as well. So yeah, those are the positions. I was down to 3. Now I'm up to, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 8 positions. So yeah, that's where we are. Those are the positions. Full transparency, folks. Full transparency. What is going on? Let's see. Any questions? No questions. Okay, sounds good. Let's go through some charts. I put the positions there. I will post the positions every Monday, Wednesday, Friday for the general subscriber group on the community page. Please go check it out. And as I said, I run this complete transparency: wins, losses, gains, whatever. And for the members group, I post it at the end of the close every day, and I also post them. So if you're a member, the advantage, if you want to call it that, The advantage is I have a Telegram chat group. I post my trades live as soon as I do them or as soon as I can. So I don't try to front run or in this type of market with my size, I'm not front running anything. Most of the time I'm early anyway. It's the members who follow me. Again, none of this is trading or financial or investment advice. They get actually better fills or better pricing because I'm usually maybe 24 hours early in what I'm doing. I've been like that all my career, so I'm not going to change that. I can't. You get that. You get that. You get the trades live, and obviously you get the members live every Wednesday, 4:30 p.m. Pacific. You get the replays of those. I think it's quite a bit. So, but again, my idea here is not to give you a fish, right? Giving you a fish is easy. My idea is teach you how to fish. And I'm pretty sure my members have learned quite a bit last 3 months that they've been there. And they're adding tools to their toolbox. I see it in their trades. I see it in their language. They're still not taking losses. They're still not trading equity. I still don't think they are. But that comes over time. It comes with certain amount of trust that trading equity is the best way to trade, not invest. Trade. Investing is something different. But most of them do have now 2 accounts, investment account and a trading account, which is good. Don't mix business with pleasure. And yeah, that's what they're doing, and I'm glad that they're doing it. So let's go back to this time. We'll go, let's see, overall. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to hold all these positions. There's not much I can do. I don't want to do. I mean, there's nothing to do. I will trade some of the 2x ETFs, like on AMD and things like that. And yeah, I mean, the biggest position at the moment is SoundHound. I thought I bought it well at like 13.43. At average, I bought a few hundred more shares this morning, but things don't stop or so I didn't think it would get to 12, honestly. I thought it would maybe we'll stop at the 20 EMA. It didn't. And I went all the way down to the 50 EMA. Hopefully it'll stop there. We'll see. One of my members was asking me, is it going to go close the gap at 11? I said, I sure goddamn hope not. But anyway, shit happens. That's why my nickname in the chat group is Iceman. I honestly don't care. Well, I care. Don't get me wrong. So this is the triple Qs, folks. This is what happened. There comes the whoosh, right? So I don't think we're done selling off yet. But last time we cracked the 20 EMA, next day up, and then new highs. So we'll see what happens. Now, I have been talking about this bearish divergence on triple Q and SPY for a month now. This is going to confirm the bearish divergence, meaning at the last high, MACD did not equal the old high. These are trouble, folks. Although it could be something like this, or it could be something like this. But we'll find out. Price takes precedence. Same thing is happening on SPX or SPY. This is SPY. SPY is holding a little bit better than triple Q, but still bearish divergence is intact. So let's go through the Mag 7. Actually, let's go through what I have first. This is AEVA. I have some options on that. Maybe double bottom. I don't know. I traded the stock once, made like $1, and it's just MACD is turning up from very oversold levels. We'll see. We'll see where that goes. Next one is BLSH. This is a new issue. Oh, it's turned green. Oh, wow. Up nicely. Okay, so I have a covered strangle. I'm just going to hold on to it. I will close it up if it gets, a couple K profitable. I mean, it's not a big position, but I'm willing to buy more shares at 43.5, and I'm willing to sell my shares at 81.5. Stock is 61. So figured that out. This is core wheat. Well, okay, let's go with CWVX is the 2x ETF of core weave. Where are we there? 946, still down 10% today. I mean, I'm buying September 15 calls, 50 cents, 60 cents. This thing rallies to 12. Those calls will be like $1.20. So you have to also have a good option calculator to figure these things out. I have 2 of them. One is free. You guys can go figure that out if you're in my chat. A bounce to middle Bollinger Band or 20 EMA is possibility. If that happens, those 120 options will be gold, but I don't think I'll be around. Of course, all these are moving off of the 2X. The 2X ETF are moving off the underlying. This is core weave. We literally touched a KISS tag 200 EMA today. Hopefully that's support, but we will find out. Still down 4 for the day. I mean, that thing went from 148 to 85 in like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. Today's the 7th day. I mean, 60-point sell-off, folks. Okay. Yeah. This is HIMS. I'm going through the position first. This is HIMS. Oh, it's turned green now. Okay. This is the HIMS common. HIMZ is the HIMS 2X ETF. I'm long 1,000 shares at 16.5. I'll probably add to it. I'm not sure. Or if it does bounce to 16 range, I'll take my little bit of a loss and get out, but we'll see. No rush. Or I will definitely, most likely what I'm going to do the rest of the day is, depending on where they close, either today, tomorrow, or Friday, I'm going to make this 1,000 shares a covered strangle like it was before. The starting point was a covered strangle for 2 days, and then you become a week holder now. You know, it happens quite a bit. And what did the other couple of positions is PPSI. I'm long 2,500 shares. It's all good. I mean, you know, it bounced. It was 570. Good earnings, actually gapped up. I bought it right. I will add to this once it starts moving. On some of these small ones, I start watching the 10-minute, 10-day. This is where I bought the stock, so I bought it right. But I will buy a couple thousand, 3,000 more shares of this once it starts moving. And yeah, we're into support now. So a revisit of 5 is definitely a possibility. And the 2X ETF I traded, well, yeah, PM Palantir. I mean, this is the this is the 1-hour chart on Palantir. Look at this sell-off, folks. This is the sell-off in the morning. Yesterday it sold off 25 points. Today it opens, gaps down, tries to bounce, and low is 142. This is the daily. Okay, look at this. Hot knife through butter. So this thing went from 190 to 142 in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days. So yeah, this is what happens. And I traded PLTU. I mean, I got lucky. I bought I think I paid 66 for it, and then sold at 70 to 73 or 74, something like that. I don't know. Let me see. I'll look at it in a minute. But this 2X ETF went from 115 to 62.5. So don't mess with these, folks. If you do mess with it, be patient. Please be patient. This is Reddit. I have another 50 shares to sell. I bought that correctly, though. I bought that off the 20 EMA after earnings. Stocks just melted up, pulling back to 20 EMA or 50 EMA. I mean, middle Bollinger Band was my idea. Well, I bought it right. It bounced. Still have some 2X ETF. The symbol is then is RDTL. Yeah, I bought that right off the middle BB. And last but not least, SoundHound. Yeah, this was a surprise to me. Well, so I bought the shares. So this is the big gap up after, you know what, let me get rid of this label because they're irritating as shit. Don't show trades. Okay, so this was the earnings, gap up, goes all the way to 17 and change. High volume, last 4 or 5 days, low volume, but gave it all back and pulled back all the way to 50 EMA. So we'll see. As my member was talking about, is there's a gap at 1130. Is it going to fail? I sure goddamn hope not. But stranger things have happened. I think I would prefer like a rally to maybe 14.5, 15, and then roll over retest. But nobody knows these things. But I think I bought it right still, and I'm going to get assigned another 1,000 shares. I'm long 2,200. I'll be 3,200 with a big cost basis of probably 13 range, which is fine. We'll see how it goes. And yeah, those are the positions. So let's go through some of the Mag 7. Apple. Actually, yeah, I want to pull back to 50 EMA for sure. I mean, 20 EMA, I'm definitely interested, but I will be trading AAPU, which is the 2X ETF of Apple. I like these 2X ETFs. They gives you a little bit more leverage as opposed to trading options. You trade these or you trade options on these 2X ETFs. Meta, I sell off, but they're all bouncing already, so we'll see. Microsoft. Actually, Microsoft pulling back 50 EMA. That may be an interesting area to look at. Amazon. I mean, not much damage is done. I mean, obviously, right? Google. Yeah, came down to 20 EMA, tested it, and Tesla is one that everybody keeps looking at. Eyes were right back into the wedge. So actually, I need to get rid of these stupid lines now. The top one anyway. So now, do we have a new wedge? I don't know. You can keep drawing these lines. I mean, this line is still valid. If we break that, then we're in trouble. But made it. They broke it out of the wedge, rally to 350, and then now we're down to 320. So the one to trade with that is TSLL. Yeah, just kind of going sideways. So this is what I've been talking about to my members: MSTR, MSTU. Why is this thing sold off literally 120, 30 points, MSTR, while Bitcoin did not sell off? Well, MNAB is getting crushed. Hedge funds are shorting the stock and buying Bitcoin. That's what is happening. There is an arbitrage going on. And of course, the 2X ETF obliged hit 510 today. We're at 555. This thing was about 11. So it got cut in half. So this is the other thing you guys need to understand. When you're dealing with these 2X ETFs, on the upside, it's all fun and games. On the downside, it is not that much fun because MSTR went down from 450 to 330. Okay, so what is that? That's about less than 25%, right? Well, what did MSTU do? Huh? It went from 11 to 5.5, cut in half. MSTZ is the bearish ETF. I think is up to 510. I think it was as low as 3. So a couple of the other ones that I'm watching. One actually I'm really interested in, Peter Thiel's new Ethereum treasury company. ETHZ is the symbol. This used to be called 180 Life. Now they changed the name of the company. They're going to buy Ethereum. They already bought a few $100 million worth of Ethereum, and Peter Thiel made a 7% investment in the company. I am interested in this in the 4s. It's 570 range, especially if it gets to the 3s, but I don't think it'll get there. So basically, they're going to issue shares and buy Bitcoin. I mean, buy Ethereum, and this is the main one with Tom Lee. BMNR, right? And there are all these Ethereum treasury companies are propping up out of the blue. I mean, this thing was like when Ethereum ran to 4,500, this thing was 74. Well, Ethereum was 4,300. This thing is 43. Today's low is 50 now. Well, you guys understand MNAV now? Don't mess with MNAV. You guys need to pay attention to it. If you don't pay attention to it, you're going to get burned. BLSH, we're doing good there. A couple of more NVIDIA. Typical pullback. Bounced quite a bit already. It bounced like 3-4 points already. Yeah, I mean, it was a garden variety sell-off. Is this it? I don't know, because all the MACDs have rolled over now. So all these bounces need to be sold until these things can prove themselves to me. A lot of high flyers like, I was short Joby Aviation. It's garbage, that came finally down to 14. You guys can go check it out. Check out the commentary, actually. Rocket Lab is a very interesting not company. They don't have any earnings or anything, but a lot of my members are into it. Nothing major. ASTS, it's looking same thing. Lemonade I'm interested in. Yeah, they're pulling back to support. I would be a buyer of that. Lulu, I was long in the chat, and then some people were long as well. I think it has bottomed. We made some money, actually. Got lucky with that. What else? I don't know. If you guys have any questions, please post it. We did something else. Sold 12 shares of RDT. Oh, we're selling finally the last 50 shares of RDTL. Okay, that means we're rallying. Are we? Are we? Let's see. Yeah, we are. We just held. Okay, well, you know, that's where we are. Don't mind taking profits, folks. Don't mind at all. What else can we do today? Not much. We just gotta watch. Where is my RDTL sell order? 55 and what? 55.65. Yeah, we're right there. Yeah, paid 49 for it. Take the 5-6 points. Yeah, Soundhound. I need a rally. I need that to close about 13, probably, hopefully today. And yeah, all good. Where's my order again? 55.60. Oh, 55.65. Oh, well, I'm a nickel away. It's all good. Yeah, that's what's happening. I mean, look, if we're right at WeWap, a couple times we get turned off. I mean, stranger things have happened, folks. You know, we may have a red to green day. You know, Powell may say something hawkish. We may tank again on Friday. Who knows? I don't know, man. You know, that's why you just got to trade. You got to trade the price in front of you. You can't just go like, oh, I love this. I'm like, okay, cool. What else am I looking at? I don't know, man. I'm not really I'm picking my spots, trying to keep my equity at 50%, 60% above what I was from the year anyway, for the year to date. I'm definitely interested in these 2x ETFs for sure. Yeah, that's gone. Okay. So what happens? You put gift orders and they get gifted. It's the Palantir 2. Palantir is only down 2.5, folks. Now, what should we do with Palantir? Let's take a look. The whole world is interested in Palantir. Let's take a look at the daily chart. So that thing went through the 50 EMA like hot knife through butter. Okay, so we went from 190 to 142. That's 48 points. Halfway is 24. 142. It could conceivably get up to 164, 165. Now 20 EMA is resistance. I will be shorting the PLTU, which is the 2x ETF, for about 164 to 168 range. No ifs, no buts. Period. Done. No arguing. That's what I'm going to do. Yeah, I need SOUN to go. Still, there is definitely a sell algo still selling the damn thing. See, that's the other thing I was talking to my members groups about, which is outperforming and underperforming, right? You can tell the way the stock is acting. It's underperforming so far with all the rally we had in NASDAQ. If NASDAQ were to sell off and go back to the lows, this thing will break 12. So that's why you just kind of pay attention to what's going on to your stock. We went through pretty much. I wanted to go through. Yeah, HIMS was I should have bought more shares of that for sure. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe there's still a chance. Let's take a look at some options on HIMS. Trade September. That's the problem with HIMZ. They don't have weeklies. Okay, stock is 1387. Let's say 14. I can sell 12 puts. My cost base is 16.5. Buy 500 shares, sell 5 puts. And wow, 20 calls are 70 cents. 19 calls are 75 cents. That's interesting. I'm into 12.19 for $2 almost. Yeah, 190. So I'm willing to buy another 500 shares at, yeah, I think I'm going to do that on the next pullback. I'm going to sell the 12 puts, sell the 19 calls, and buy some more shares. That's what we're going to do. Yeah, so it's the 2-minute chart that I'm looking at, by the way, folks. So, yeah, I mean, now we're right at WeWap. If we do take out WeWap, which is about 565 on triple Q, I think we're going to keep rallying. And, yep, that's it. That's where we are. All righty. Oh, finally some questions. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Everyone is waiting for Powell. Anyway, anything is possible. Yeah, who knows? DJK, Tesla will lose EV credits after. I think that's priced in, though. I think that's, I mean, I'm sure, you seem like a reasonably intelligent trader or whatever you do. I don't know. But, Wall Street doesn't look at what's known already. We're looking 6-8 months, a year ahead. Everybody knew that 6 months or 3 months ago. Their car sales will be good this quarter because everybody's trying to take advantage. I think they go off by the end of September, I think. And yeah, so hey, big good morning. I'm missing my Mr. Steady, other Vic. He left the chat group. I don't know why. I think we pissed him off. Roy Ganim, what do you think about mortgage interest rates going up again? How much it could go up based on history? There's no, actually, historically, 7% is pretty low. And with all what the impact of rental property and rent in general? Good question, man. I don't talk about macro too much here. I do actually, but so number one, mortgage interest rates are tied to the 10-year and 20-year note. Okay, so the Fed can cut the rates all they want. The Fed funds rate. President Trump can yell at the Powell saying cut rates, cut rates. It's not going to matter. Nobody can regulate rates. So I'm going to show a chart of something called TLT. And I've been talking about this on this channel for a while. Most people don't pay attention to these things. This is TLT. This is the 20-year ETF, 1 day, 1 year, okay? But it's an inverse ETF. So if TLT is going down, that means interest rates, actual real interest rates are going up. What you hear in the news media and what you hear from Trump or Powell is bullshit. Fed cannot control this market. This has its own mind, okay? So TLT, when the Fed first cut the rates 50 basis points in September, TLT was 101.64. So at that time, mortgage rates were about 5.5, 30-year fixed. And then they cut the rates again. But what is the bond market doing? Bond market's increasing the rates while the Fed is cutting the rates. So that's why our 30-year mortgage is about 7.5 now. That's because TLT is down to 86. So mortgage rates are definitely big part of home affordability index. Even if the Fed cut the rates, TLT is not going to mind it. Okay. The reason TLT doesn't mind is because the market's so big. The Treasury market, CMBSs, MBSs, Fed is powerless when it comes to interest rates. So is the administration. Okay. The only way the interest rates are going to go down is if the economy is slowing down. If the economy is slowing down, then interest rates automatically start going up by the TLT going up. TLT going down in price means interest rates are going up. TLT going up in price means interest rates are going down. It's pretty steadily going up. I mean, since last September, what the Fed did. You guys see the trend here, right? So if you take a long-term perspective, which you asked a great question, this is going back to 2002, 23 years. Long-term perspective, this is what the rates have been, about 7.5% on the 30-year, and that's where we are. Because this runs the 30-year mortgages. It's run off of the 10, 20-year bond and note. During COVID, ZIRP, zero interest rate policy, the TLT was at 180. Now we're 86. So please watch TLT. There's definitely a correlation between interest rates for car loans, mortgages, and things like that off of this, not what the Fed does. So historically, we're on average, we're at par. pretty much. Okay, so 22 years ago, interest rates. If you want to talk rates and reasonably rates, when the last time we had inflation shock during the 70s, when gold initially went to 800, Paul Volcker, who was the Fed chief, rest in peace, raised the rates to 21% to kill inflation. Well, we did the same thing. So when TLT went from 180 to 80, that's when interest rates went from 0 to 5%. And although it didn't stop anything, it didn't slow down the stock market, it didn't slow down asset bubbles, it didn't slow down any of that. But I think they have a problem here now. What the problem here is going to be, if they cut rates, all asset classes are at all-time highs: gold, Bitcoin, stock market, real estate, right? The only way, and what's going to happen is that the economy is actually slowing down if you look at the unemployment numbers. So that's called stagflation. I have a couple of good videos on the channel. You can go check it out. If we're in a stagflationary cycle, there's no cure for stagflation. Fed can cut all the rates they want. What's going to happen is that because the economy is slowing down, Fed will cut the rates, but then inflation will accelerate. And then the next choice of raising rates is horrible. Market may be seeing that. Market may be seeing the stagflation waves showing up. So we'll see. We'll see. It's going to be an interesting last 6 months or 5 months of the year. So cutting late rates is not going to make any difference on the mortgages. I think you asked me about rentals and things like that. Let me read the question one more time. What do you think of? So mortgage interest rates, I answered that question. Going up again? Yeah, they're just steady to up. I don't think they're going to go higher. The only one mortgage interest rates are going to go down is the TLT goes, if the 20-year goes down to 4, 3.5, then it's 250 basis points above that. So how much it could go up based on history? It could go up a lot. Mortgage rates in the 70s were 22, 23%, and everybody still could afford a home because their earnings were sufficient. Today, what happened is that because of the bubble we created with all this printing and spending with the 37 trillion in debt, right? We keep pumping up these assets and nobody can afford a house. Average median home price in the US is like $515,000, I believe. And your mortgage went from 3.5 to 7.5 because we had to raise rates because inflation showed up, right? Well, yeah. And with all that, what about the impact? Yeah, rental property, rents have been going down. That's one saving grace on inflation, actually. Rents have been going down. Yeah, rents actually have been helping. But also see now cracks in the housing market. We're seeing, Florida, Texas really struggling with the housing prices. Actually, they're going down 5-6%. Some places still surviving, like California prices are down maybe 3%. But they've gone up so much, right, because of the printing and spending that we do, that I don't think they're going to go correct 20-30%. If interest hit 20%, not necessarily. Like, I won't lose my home. My mortgage is at 4%. I'm not going to sell. I'm not going to go anywhere. Because when I did my mortgage, I can afford the 4%. But what's going to happen is that how can anybody, okay, at 7.5, there's a thing called Home Affordability Index. So you can go to FRED, F-R-E-D, Federal Reserve Economic Data, and check all these stats. 20%. It's already bad at 7.5. Nobody can afford a house. A 30-year-old couple, college educated, making $150K a year cannot buy a house. That's because it's unaffordable. Number one, mortgages are 7%. They don't have the money for the down payment, and the home prices have gone up so much that. But again, a lot of people say, "Oh, my house went up double." I'm like, "Yeah, so did mine. My house went up 110% since I bought it in 22 years ago. Big deal. 110% divided by 22 is 5.5%. The stock market's gone up 10%. The other thing is they're debasing the currency. They keep devaluing the currency, right? Your U.S. dollar is losing money. I have a really great video coming out today at noon. You guys should go check it out. They keep debasing the currency. They keep devaluing the dollar. And you're losing 6 or 7% buying power a year on your $100 bill, okay? So it's just kept pace with inflation, actually. Because inflation, unlike the government says, is not 2%. They're lying. They're complete liars. Everybody lies. It's not 2%. It's minimum 5, 6, 7% a year. So, yeah. When a rental property is interest go up, rent go down, how to cover a mortgage? Yeah, you can't actually, because the prices have gone up so much on rental properties. there's something called cap rate, right? And the cap rates are down to like 5. I mean, you don't collect rent for a month, but if you're over your head on your mortgage. So I mean, I'm not a huge fan of rental properties. They're basically, I mean, look, there's a lot of stuff on YouTube. They go like, oh, I made billions in real estate. All you did is kept pace with inflation, actually. I'm not telling you not to own real estate or rental properties for cash flow. But what I would suggest is that, look, you're getting the same 5% on Robinhood or 4.5% APY on Robinhood money market. So that's competing with that too. So 5% cap rate. Commercial is disaster, right? Residential, a little bit better. But you can't keep raising rates, rental, rates. So, not a huge fan of rental properties either. I mean, I'd rather trade, make 5x of the S&P 500. That's my opinion, but how many people can do that? Rental is an easy way, but the money you're getting out of it is just keeping pace with inflation, basically. That's all you're doing. You have to be realistic about all this stuff. Okay. So hopefully I answered your questions. Yeah. Exactly. And now this, who knows? Well, I don't know how far back you went, but okay, I'll give the example. I bought my house in 2003. It's 22 years ago. I paid $825 for it. It was probably close to the top of the market. And then we had 2008 great financial crisis, and it went down to like 600 or 650. I'm not going to sell, whatever. Now it's probably, if I can put it on Zillow, probably what estimate is like 1.7, 1.8 range. Okay, so it's I've been making payments obviously all this time, so I don't have much, I have tons of equity in there. Okay, I've gained from the original buying point 825 to 1.8, let's say $1 million. Well, take million divided by 22. Okay, that's less than 5%. Well, I just kept pace with inflation, and a lot of people think, my house doubled. Yeah, your house doubled, but what happened to your $100 bill? In the last 22 years, it's worth zero. Literally has lost all its value, all its buying power. People don't think that way. So, $1 million 22 years ago was big money. Today, it's really not. It's nothing, because they keep devaluing the currency. You keep losing value on your $100 bill. You're losing buying power. There's no question about that. I mean, so yeah, that's where I'm at. I think I answered this question. But on a rental properties, interest go up. If interest go up, no, if interest interest going up has nothing to do with rent going down. Interest rates, look, if you bought a rental property, let's say a residential, let's say home, or a 3-unit, 5-unit, 10-unit, right? Obviously, you have costs. Your biggest cost is going to be your mortgage. Well, today's mortgages are very high. That's why the cap rates are low. If the mortgages start going down, then rental properties will look better, because cap rates will go higher, assuming the rent is going to stay flat, or you can increase the rates, because in California, there's some places called rent control. You can't jack up the rates 20% as you want, but assume you can. So at the moment, cap rates are at 5. Well, you can get close to 5% in the money market. Why should I even bother with a renter? Why should I bother with all that? And the appreciation you may get in that house price is just keeping pace with inflation. Not a bad idea, right? But if you put the same money, if I put the same $825,000 in the stock market, I mean, look, it's not a great comparison, but if I put the same money 22 years ago in the S&P 500, that would be worth like $3 million today. Well, my house is only worth 1.8. Okay, so comparisons are there, but is it fair? Probably not. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Anyway, any other questions? I have 5 minutes. Anybody want to grab the link and come on? No, nobody. Of course not. You guys are all shy. So I'll be back on Friday with Power Hour. Please join. Please share. Please put a thumbs up on your way out. It's free. I want to see all my members today, all of them today, because it's quiet as heck on that chat group. I have like 40 plus people there. Crickets. I'm the only one posting. They all go like hide in their shell. They put the head in the sand. They go like, oh no, market's going down. I don't know. Let's take a look at the positions one last time. So watch TLT, sir. As a quote, if TLT is green, that means interest rates are going down that day. It doesn't move like a stock, by the way. This is the 20. It's called the iShares 20+ year Treasury bond ETF. It's an inverse ETF, meaning TLT goes up, rates go down in real world. TLT goes down, rates go up in the real world. And pay attention to TLT. You'll kind of know what's going on. What are we doing here? Let's see. This is the 1-year version of TLT, and it goes back to September of last year where the Fed started cutting rates. Fed started cutting rates, the bond market started raising rates. Bond market doesn't give a rat's ass about the Fed or Jay Powell or President Trump or Scott Bessent. They don't give a shit. The bond market has its own mind. They don't care. Yeah, let's see. Did we stop at the... Yeah, it looks like we did. We got stuck at the WeWap again. Yeah, it's expected. Yep, sure did. We got stuck at WeWap, rolling over. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much expected. Yep, Soundhound, immediate sell-off at 10 cents. I mean, it just weak. I can tell it's weak, so I can't do much about that. Good thing I sold what I bought today. HIMS, definitely I'm going to do a trade on that one. Yeah, I'm just going to keep the positions the way they are. I mean, I cut down on these two. So RDTL and PLTU are gone. So we can minimize those. So we're down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 positions. Okay, not bad. Yeah. Yeah. We're going to assign some more Soundhound if it's under 13.5 and 13. Try to sell some more calls. Take a few dimes and nickels in lower cost as much as possible. Luckily, Soundhound has weekly options, so I can deal with that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see much to do, honestly, except HIMS. HIMS, definitely. I'm going to do something with that. Yeah, let's see. Trade. Yeah, 13 puts, 12 puts. They didn't move. 110 and 75 still. Let's see if I can do this at $2. I would like that, actually. Yeah. Do I want to covered strangle? That was the question. What was the high on these? 135. Or do I want to go to 11 and 19? This is September, man. We got 30 days. This is a long expiration. Anything is possible. No, I think I'll do the 12s. 12.19 is looking okay. 12.19, I probably can do it at 185. If I can do it in a couple of bucks, I'll definitely do it. That means I'm selling my existing 1,000 shares at 21 or buying more at 10. Yeah, I don't need to buy shares. I'll sell the 12 puts and sell 10 of these. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, sounds good. Anyway, folks, that's where we are. Interesting day, but we'll see how it's going to end up. Yeah. I noticed that a lot of homes under the integrity market. Yeah, it's a buyer's market. You know, people are trying to get rid of homes or sell, but nobody can afford it. Nobody can afford it, and that's why prices go down. Supply, demand, right? More supply, less demand. Well, not demand, because demand is maybe there, but affordability index is at the lowest it's been in the last 20 years. There's a thing called home affordability index. Part of it is obviously the price. Your monthly payment is the largest part of it, right? Which is directly related to mortgage rates, which are 7.5% on 30-year fixed. That's why it's unaffordable for most folks. So people are so what happens is that a lot of people who are willing sellers They put it in the market. It stays on the market for 30, 45, 60 days. Then they cut prices, and they cut prices again until the buyers can step up. But qualified buyers are not that many because they can afford it. I mean, an average mortgage on a median priced house at 520 today, 520 only in California, median price is like 850,000. But let's say in Texas, I don't know what it is, but in the US is about 515. So 20% down is 100 grand. So first you have to come up with, just to buy a median price house, you have to come up with 100 grand, 20% down. And you're going to have a $420,000 30-year mortgage, which is going to cost you $2,500 a month. In order to get a $2,500 mortgage, there's something called LTV, loan to value. Banks will not do it unless you're earning like probably 8 to 10K a month or 7,500 after tax, right? 30% LTV. So, your income has to be there, and most people's may not be, and that's why there aren't too many buyers. No, maybe a housing recession in certain parts of certain states. But look, I think government's lying to everyone. If you look, I followed unemployment numbers last week. They were revised. What they do is they say something, Bureau of Labor Statistics, they'll say, okay, unemployment is this. And then next month, they'll revise the numbers from the month before. It's all hocus pocus. It's all bullshit. Government's the biggest gaslighter on the planet. The further I am from the government, the better. That's why I just put my own thinking hat on and try to read the tea leaves and decide on things, as opposed to listen to the government. Like 99% of Americans go, oh, government said this, it must be true. Couldn't be further from the truth. They bullshit. They lie. They have to lie to get this party, keep this party going. Because we're in a bubble of all bubbles. Look at all these asset classes. But am I saying bubble's going to pop? I have no idea. It may or may not. But when it does pop, that's why I keep talking about the 37 trillion in national debt, which is to be 38 trillion in 100 more days. We can't sustain this. We can't. We're just, as a country, we're paying $1.2 trillion interest to all the foreigners and shit. And in order to do that, we have to print more. That's why the musical chairs it's going to keep going. That's why house prices are where they are. Right? When you put all that money into circulation, print and put it into circulation, it has to chase and return. And it goes into real estate. It goes into stocks. It goes into bonds. Not bonds. It goes into gold. It goes into crypto. That's the problem. That's the problem. Yeah, they can write all they want. I don't have to read it. I don't believe a word the government says. Not one single. This has nothing to do with Trump, Biden, whatever. I don't believe a word of any government. Okay? Because their job is to make things look good to get elected again. Makes sense, right? There's midterm elections coming up. If things look like shit, the midterm elections next year, Trump loses some seats in the House and the Senate, he's a dead duck president next 2 years. So they have to sell. Right? They have to sell their book like everybody does on CNBC. I don't do any of that. I'm just telling you guys the straight up shit. Yeah, I don't know. Look, he took advantage of the rules. Everybody can file bankruptcy and restart again. I'm not against that. All I'm saying is I don't buy the government's story. I didn't buy Biden's story. I'm not buying Trump's story. I'll just make up on my own mind, right? And then things like this happen last 2 days, and I get like my friends go, oh, market's crashing. I'm like, how's the market crashing? It went down like 3%. Not even. You guys are all in your bubble of used to bull markets lasting forever. Look, man, bull markets don't last forever. I've seen it all. Go to 2000. I'm still on the desk. The 2000 .com bubble. Go to 2008. Go to COVID. I've seen a couple before. Go check it out. Look what happened to stock prices. What happened at the .com bubble? Is it the same? No, of course not. But fiscally and financially, we're in the same spot. We have a broken fiscal policy, and the monetary policy a broken monetary policy has to follow a broken fiscal policy. Because Washington spends money they don't have. In order for them to do that, add to the national debt every year $2.5 trillion. The fiscal policy is so messed up that the monetary policy has to follow fiscal policy. And monetary policy is the Treasury and the Fed. They have to print. That's why all these asset classes are there. I've been saying this for years in private circles and on this channel for about a year now. If you've been listening to me, you would have made some great decisions, such as DCA into Bitcoin, stocks, right? Because that's what happens. We have all this money around the globe sloshing around because we keep printing. Well, we keep printing it and putting it into the economy. It's called deficit spending. Will it end at some point? Yeah. Why should my kids be, stuck with 37 trillion in debt? Look, for me, I don't care. I'm fine. I'm great. I'm all well. But why should a newborn today, this minute, this second, some child was born this second, they owe $125,000? Do you all know that every man, woman, child, including that one that was just born this second, owes $125,000 in this country? Simple math. 37 trillion divided by 320 million or 350 million, however many people are according to the census. It doesn't sit well with me. But then that's why I don't buy what the government's saying. Zero trust in the government. All right, market's up 33% to April lows on pull back today. Exactly. Just trust me, bro. People go like, "Oh my God, we're crap." Although, but let's just see. This is a cool comment. Let's just take that to the next level. That's the market. Most people don't own the market. Okay, so market. Let's look at individual stocks, right? The high flyers, which shouldn't have been there anyway, but they are. Until the musical chairs end. Palantir, Hood, Oklo, all these stupid AI stocks, high flyers, right? What happened there? In 6 days, Palantir goes from 190 to 140. That's 50 points. What is that? 30%? 25%? So, not everybody owns the market, but I agree with you. Yeah, people go like, "Oh my God." I'm like, what? Yeah, anyway. Great. I love that. World is coming to an end. Market sold off 3%. Yeah, they could do that, but how are they going to raise GDP? Great question. Actually, I'm going to leave this up here. So they're saying they're going to grow themselves out of this debt. Great. Where is it coming from? We can't build factories overnight. Those jobs left the building already, and they're never going to come back. That manufacturing bullshit stories. All the people showing up at the White House, 500 billion, a trillion. Where is it? Show me a factory. Show me one that they built and we have manufacturing in this country now and good paying jobs are back. Show me one. That's never going to happen. More gaslighting. Again, I'm voted for Trump, so but I'm neutral as it goes. Yeah, so how do you grow yourself out of deficits? Not by creating more deficits. Okay? So when we first started this spending spree, when we left the gold standard in 1970s during Nixon time, we used to be on a gold standard. Now that we left that, Bretton Woods, right? Okay. So once we left the gold standard, we could borrow money that we didn't have. We can literally create money out of thin air. Initially, the first 15, 20 years, that worked out beautifully because GDP took off. Okay. So initially, for every dollar we borrowed, there was 3x, 4x GDP coming through. Amazing. That's what the golden years of the United States. Last 15 years, every dollar we borrow creates negative GDP, actually, meaning it's not even 1-to-1 now. It's down to 47 cents. So for each dollar we borrow, it's adding 47 cents to the GDP. And math don't lie. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work. So every dollar we're borrowing actually is like an anchor now to the GDP. Although our GDP is at 28 trillion, our debt is 37 trillion. We're at 130% of GDP now. Those numbers are not going to work. And not going to work. Just not going. AI, biggest bubble ever. Bullshit. What AI? What is it going to do? You know what that's going to do? It's going to put you out of a job. It's going to put every factory worker out of a job. That's going to put every trucker out of a job. That's going to put every rideshare driver out of a job. What are these people going to do? What are they going to do? Robots are going to, all the Starbucks baristas are going to be out of a job, right? Because AI is going to every job, entry level or white collar or blue collar, 10x better than anybody, any other human. Not calling sick, all these things. AI, I think, is going to absolutely kill, right? I mean, it'll help the rich people, it'll help the corporations, because they're going to be so much more streamlined. The market may go higher, because, right? But humans are going to suffer. So I'm not sure about AI. I think about that all the time, about my kids. I don't know about that. I think Trump won't be in office, but J.D. Vance will be in office, because Democrats have zero credibility and zero game. Zero. The socialist bullshit agenda is never going to work in this country. No, that's not going to work either, because let me tell you something. I can assure you, I don't do this for content. I know what the fuck is up. And even on the other channel, I don't do anything for content. You know, all that's going to come to an end. And if you think content creation is so lucrative, go knock yourself out. Start a YouTube channel, number one. Number two, AI is doing that already. We just let go our editor. That was our editor for the last 8 years, because there is software now that can do his job 10 times faster and at a 5% of the cost of what we used to pay him. So what is that guy going to do now? How's he going to replace the lost income that was from us? We had to do it. It's not that simple, folks. Anyway, I think I want more than I think I want to go. So we'll be back today with the members live at 4:30 p.m. Pacific, and on Friday, Power Hour, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. I'll be back with that. I have an interesting video coming up today. It's called Who's Holding the 37 Trillion Bag? You guys should check that out. 10x. Yep. There you go. What human can compete with that? So maybe universal basic income? I don't know. Yeah, it's a subject I would actually like to talk about maybe later. So much love. Stay healthy. Enjoy the rest of your day. Yeah, world's not coming to an end. Market's down 3%. Big deal. Although, if your stock is down 30% in 5 days, then you're feeling it. But again, if you size correctly, manage risk correctly, you don't have to worry about it. Anyway, take care. Thumbs up. Much love. Stay well.